In today's presentation, Niall Commiskey will give us an update on the latest Oracle integration features. Good morning, Niall. Good afternoon, Niall.
Good afternoon. Yes, it's a rainy afternoon here in Bavaria, Jürgen. I hope the sun is shining where all of you are.
So it's raining, but what demos did you prepare for today?
Okay, today we're going to be looking at 24.02 release and a sneak preview of some of the features coming in 24.04, including RPA, which is robotic process automation. We'll be also doing a deep dive into the just released Rapid Adapter Builder. So we'll have a look at those two in depth during this session.
Excellent. So we will need the safe harbor statement.
Yes, the safe harbor statement is in my presentation. So everybody, please take note of that, even if I don't, if I skip it, okay?
Okay, let's kick it off. So Oracle Integration 3 connects SaaS services like HCMCX and ERP with adapters or custom-built applications via SOAP and REST. The objective of today's call is to provide you an update on the latest features and functionality. Quick housekeeping, please ask your questions via the Q&A tool. At the end of the webcast, we will answer them. All links are available via the resource page at bit.ly/links-OIC. Today's webcast is live and the recording will be published, including today's presentation, at Oracle Video Hub. Please share your feedback at the end of the webcast once you leave it and the survey pops up. Please pay attention to the Oracle Safe Harbor statement as we will present you today some nice new features which will be released in future versions. For today's agenda, we will kick off the call with some updates on the current release 24.02 and then give you some hints about the April release and some details about observability. We will answer your questions at the end of the webcast. Some quick announcements. We will run the next customer success webcast on April 10th, and we'll have a paper from Cognizant about hybrid integration. In case you missed one of our previous customer success webcasts, they are available on demand. An excellent webcast with a wonderful demo from Kress from Bashir. You can watch it on demand, or a customer success webcast on CX automation from Wind Information Systems. In case you would like to try Oracle Integration 3, it's part of the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure free trial. You can test it for up to 30 days via oracle.com/try it. If you try it, please make use of the documentation. Part of the documentation are also live labs, which are hands-on labs, which will guide you into some nice use cases. In case you need support to implement Oracle integration, you can find certified partners like Accenture on the Oracle Partner Finder. You can search per certification and so competencies, and you can search for local partners. For more cloud information and adapters from third parties like Avanco, please visit the Cloud Marketplace. To collaborate, please visit Oracle Cloud Customer Connect. There you can start conversations, you can submit innovations, and you can earn badges for your reputation. Today's webcast is live and a recording, including slides, will be available at Oracle Video Hub. Please subscribe to our channel. All information, all product updates for customers are in our quarterly newsletter, so please subscribe to not miss out one of our future webcasts. With that short introduction, over to you, Niall.
Great. Okay, so we're going to go in and look at the 24.02 new features first, then a preview of 24.04, because the way we are here in March, you know, we're between these two releases. And then there'll be some demos, and then I'm going to have a short session on OIC Observability, because there are many folks out there who maybe are not aware of what we actually provide in this space within OIC itself and at OCI level with OCI logging analytics. So we just wanted to go through this one more time so that everybody sees exactly what's available there. So this is just a new slide we have here for OIC, just showing the components again, application integration, connecting and synchronizing, B2B and healthcare for engaging with partners, process automation for human-centric workflows, UI experiences then with Visual Builder, also to extend SaaS, and monitor and manage with unified observability. The Y is missing there. But again, the story is, any application, any data, anywhere. And of course, the OCI services above Oracle integration there, just reinforcing the fact that we are also a native OCI service, and there are many other OCI services that could be very interesting for you in achieving your business goals. Okay, so without further ado, let's look at the highlight of the previous 2 releases. So just going back, and if we see for those folks who are interested in healthcare, we did release the MNLP adapter. We've got the HL7 schema and document editing feature, very much like what we have for B2B, but for the healthcare space. And within observability, okay, we've provided more detailed endpoint metrics in the OIC activity stream. So you can see exactly when I invoke a particular endpoint, how long did that invoke take? You will see later when we look at the observability, we're doing an awful lot more in that space as well. And we have this notification of status of async operations. So async operations, some things are things like, for example, activating an integration, deactivating an integration, etc. There's a notification engine available to you now, or notification screen available to you now, to show you the status of those async operations. Now, within the automation platform itself, okay, there had been various enhancements to projects. We've also have the ability since 23.12 to publish OIC endpoints to the API gateway, and we can do this much more effectively than in Gen 2, in that we can create our own deployments or select an existing deployment, thus being able to leverage or make the maximum use of deployments, which each deployment can contain up to 50 routes or 50 APIs in this case. Export import between OIC 3 instances is now available. B2B Rosetta Net report or Rosetta Net support, the REST transport support, and there's been more work done in this area, as we will see going forward. Also very interesting from an observability perspective is the fact that we now have under observability in OIC, not just the OIC like the integration dashboards, but we've also got specific B2B dashboard as well there. Now, from a connectivity perspective, and I'm glad that I've got Madhav is on this call as well from our adapters team. There's been a huge amount of work done within the adapters. I'm not going to go through all of these, but I think the whole idea is that you see that we are really focusing on making sure that every release, every bi-monthly release of OIC contains new adapters and also enhancements to existing adapters. You will also see the features there like the IaaS adapters like Azure Service Bus, Azure AD, Azure Storage, and then Google Public Cloud as well. The way we're looking at this, our customers, you have multi-cloud strategies, so we are kind of supporting you in that respect as well. Another thing that you will see that we will be demoing later on is RAB, which is the Rapid Adapter Builder, which allows you to declaratively create your own custom adapters. Now, this is optimal for you if you say, okay, I've got certain apps that I keep that I need to integrate with. There's a set of REST APIs I need to call. I don't want to use the REST adapter because of the development overhead of configuring all of these things. Can I not have an adapter for that app? And with RAB, we'll be able to create such. The input is, in this case, from my case, for the demo, will be a Postman collection, but it could also be an open API spec. You see that also here within SaaS enablement, like the fact that we're delivering more and more pre-built solutions. So now, as you can see here, we've got the recipes and accelerators. Like recipes are best practice implementations of key integration use cases, which you can just use and abuse to your heart's content. In other words, you can open it up and just connect it to, if it's a recipe between Salesforce and NetSuite, you could open that up, connect it to your Salesforce and your NetSuite, and this will work. Naturally enough, you can go in and edit it, do your custom mappings or whatever you want with that integration. The accelerators are more of a black box concept. In other words, they're tied down to a certain extent, but you can, of course, tweak mappings and that sort of stuff as well. But the whole idea here is, the quickest integration to create is one that's already there. If I can use a recipe, or if I can use an accelerator instead of starting off in the first rung of a 10-rung ladder, or maybe up at rung number 7 or rung number 8, depending on my use case there. So when we go up here to the integration plan of record, so now this is what we're looking at between February and April. So like we're in March, so it's a good time to look at these things here. Within 2402, the ability to upgrade Visual Builder apps this is from an OIC Gen 2 to an OIC 3 perspective has been added. Also the upgrade of ACL, access control list instances. You will see here what's still on the roadmap for 2404 and maybe beyond is the upgrade of Visual Builder, where you've got your bring your own database instances. And the upgrade of custom URLs, that's a feature that's going to be available in 2404 generally. So that's the reason why this is scheduled for 2404. We've already covered that thing with the observability, with the notification of async operations. From a healthcare perspective, we're looking at producing a FHIR adapter. So FHIR is pronounced FHIR. So for those folks who are doing any sort of integrations with healthcare organizations, now this could be something where it could be a financial based integration where patients have to pay for their operations, and it could be an integration between a clinic and Fusion ERP or e-business suite. So this might be interesting for you folks. Now, from the automation platform, the core platform, we have introduced the final stage of stage file performance improvements in 2402. And for the testing that I've done, I've seen that now that this stage file in OIC 3 is quicker than stage file in OIC Gen 2. Another great feature we'll be looking at in a little bit more depth is the ability to test an integration from the canvas. Now, what this does, it saves us an awful lot of clicking. Like if you're in there, you have to save the integration, you have to exit, you have to activate the integration, you have to click run, you have to do this, you have to do that, and then you have to deactivate, go back in and edit, click to edit, and so on. So the ability within the integration itself, the integration canvas, to click on a test icon, and that does all of that work for you and allows you then to enter the payload, or it'll just show you the default payload that you've entered, maybe the sample JSON, and you can run your test there. And when you end the test, it's going to deactivate the integration and bring you back into edit mode, so to speak. So we also have the Jet Redwood uptake in the design canvas. Now you will see that that's something that's very noticeable in 2402. Like the canvas, I'm sure some of you have already seen this. It is different, and we will look at some of the value add that we have there. What it does provide for is it's better looking. It's more pleasing to the eye, but it's also more function rich. In that, for example, you will see that certain controls extend longer, so you can read all of the contents as opposed to having to go and navigate in there and see exactly what's happening. You see that with B2B, we've had some additions there as well. The fixed length document type, the AS2 via private endpoint support is there as well. Other things to look at there that are coming in 2404 is connection sharing between OIC projects. We'll have a deeper look at that as well in the 2404 section. The whole idea here is like we've already introduced the ability to share integrations between projects. Now, for those of you who don't know what a project is the ability for you within OIC to have your own private slice of OIC, where you can create all of your integration artifacts within the context of your project. So you could have a private project that only you can work on, or you can have a project where you can invite others to work on it. For example, if you have a team of HCM integration developers, you could give that team edit rights to your particular project. Now, of course, within these sort of projects, they're going to be maybe many projects. They could be focused on particular use cases or whatever, like onboarding, offboarding, but these projects would have to say leverage the same HCM integrations. So the idea is I can have maybe a common project for the HCM team where I define the HCM connection and then share that between the projects. So instead of having all of the developers or many developers creating their own HCM connections, we have one connection that's shareable between all of the projects. And as I mentioned earlier, the custom endpoint support is available with 2404. And guys, if you have any questions about these things here, please put them into the chat, because we've a great team on board here, Madhav, Ravi, and Kishore, and Jürgen as well, to answer any questions that you have. So when we look at this one here with the connectivity, again, I apologize for the amount of detail here, and you will get these slides afterwards, of course, but again, it's just reinforcing the fact that every release is giving us new adapters. For example, AWS services, Google BigQuery, all of these sort of things that are coming, and you see all of the enhancements that are there as well. So this is something, and many of these, of course, are driven by your requirements. So it's very, very important to have that dialogue with you letting us know exactly what features are missing, and us implementing them for you as in a timely fashion. We will see here, of course, the RAB infrastructure as well. So the rapid adapter is now live, and customers and partners can now build their own adapters. We'll have a look at that in the demo. In SaaS enablement, we see here there's support to add new connections, support to add extension groups, and so on. And this is all in the context, I think, of the accelerators. So saying, okay, we're giving you a black box solution that we will manage for you, as opposed to the recipe, which is a once-off, you use it and you do whatever you want with, you're responsible for it. With the accelerator, we're managing it, but we're giving you the opportunity to kind of tweak certain certain settings within that accelerator, and we're providing more support for that going there. Now, here is one of the 2402 new features. This is just testing in the canvas, so I'll just show you here. Yeah, we have our simple integration here. I click on the test icon here, and you can see here that it starts off, and in the background, not in the background here, yeah, but within the design canvas, we're switching to a view mode, we're activating the integration, we're getting the endpoint details, and this happens very quickly, of course. And then you go in here and you can just test the integration, all within the design time canvas. And then you get the result here. And of course, when you end test, what it's going to do is just going to say, okay, I'm going to deactivate the integration, and then I'm going to switch to edit mode. But this does save an awful lot of clicking, and I think it'll be a great feature. So I'm sure everybody will be delighted to see this coming on board. Now, that's just showing you an example of the Jet Redwood diagram uptake. So example is this with this switch control, which in 2412 would have been maybe it wouldn't have been fully rendered. You wouldn't have seen all of these things here. But now the header bar extends the full width of the node, which just makes it much easier for you to see exactly what is there. Now, of course, you can actually collapse this very easily, but it's just making it much easier for you immediately to see, okay, what is this integration actually doing? Okay, the next slide here. So now we're talking about the Rapid Adapter Builder. And please, folks, if you have any questions about this, get them on to the Q&A, because we've Madhav on board today, who's the master of this. So with the Rapid Adapter Builder, the idea here is you're going to have a Visual Studio Code, which has an extension for the Rapid Adapter Builder. And you import either a Postman collection or the Open API spec. And within here, our extension is going to convert that to an adapter definition file. And of course, this adapter definition file can be customized. Now, customized could be to say, okay, what sort of security do I want to apply for this? Do I want, when the customer is defining the connection, for them to be able to select basic auth and OAuth, for example? Then there's the sort of stuff that you can add in this ADD. Now, it's all declarative. Yeah, we'll have a look at that in detail later. And then from this ADD file, I can actually just validate it to make sure it's syntactically correct, and then I can publish it to my OIC instance. So within this extension in Visual Studio Code, I can define one or more connections to OIC environments or OIC instances. So this makes it very easy for me to have, in one place, the ability to create new adapters and per mouse click, just deploy them to different OIC instances. And of course, going forward now, this will be it'll be registered in Oracle integration, and then you will see it in the adapters gallery. So when you go in and click on create connection, you will see this before you. Now, when we look at the 2404 preview, and as I say, they were the key features there. Now, if anybody wants to look in detail about what's in 2402, if you go to docs.oracle.com and go to integration, and then just click on the what's new link, you will see exactly what the new features are. Because I was just giving you an overview there, because I am conscious of the time that we have. So the 2404 preview. Now and again, this is under Safe Harbor, but you can see here, this is the ability to share connections between projects. So within one project, I can create a connection called My Common Rest, and I can click, just control here to activate sharing with other projects. So then I go into a different project, and then I can say use a shared connection, or I can go and configure this connection to be standalone. So this is how simply it is to do that. But you can see the big value add of this within the whole concept of projects, because I will have many projects maybe for the ERP developer group. And those ERP developers are maybe working with the same set of Fusion instances. So if I create those connections once in a common project and then share that with the other projects, it's a huge value add and an awful lot less complexity then in respect of the connections. Another new feature that will be coming in 2404 is the file server native action. Now, this is also an excellent feature because many folks, of course, are using the OIC file server, especially for file-based data, FBDI. And if you're uploading, downloading files, it's optimal to use this guy. So the whole idea here is, instead of having to create the FTP connection and then doing all of that stuff, taking care of that, you can here, just once you've enabled the file server on your instance, so this will only work when you've enabled file server on your instance, you can just drag and drop this across, and you're immediately connected to your file server. And then, for example, you can configure these native actions. And for a file, here's what we're supporting in the first version. Is write file, move file, get file reference, delete file, and so on. So get file reference, you can imagine that's just like a download file. So in other words, then after that, you could have a stage file action where you actually read and process that file. There's also the ability to select a resource directory. Currently, in the first release of this, we will be supporting list directories. Okay, so next one. And here we come to it, RPA. Now, this is something, now whether this will be fully released in 2404, I don't know, but it's something that I just wanted to introduce to you, is the RPA support. Now, we've been speaking about this at different events since, I think, Cloud World in Las Vegas last September. And I was demoing this at Dev Live in London. This was the event just before Cloud World in London last week. But net, it allows us to, RPA as part and parcel of OIC integration. So we're thinking of a process automation that could be implemented by integrations. Some of it could be done by software robots, etc. And so the whole idea here is, you go in, you create here's the robot designer, and you can see here, I've done some screen scraping, so to speak, and I've got these things here. This little use case is to enter a 5-character zip code in the US Postal Service website and get back the 9-character zip code equivalent. And then once I've created this robot, what I can then do is I can use this new action in OIC, which will be called robot flow, and I can drop it in here, and then I can actually, I'm going to update a customer in Fusion with a new address. Instead of giving them the 5-character zip code, I'm going to ask the robot to go and get me the 9-character zip code, And then with that data, that's what I will use to update the customer. So this is a very compelling new feature that will be coming out. So whether it's going to be available to everyone in 2404, that's something I cannot commit to now, but just that you will have seen this. Okay. Now, before we get to the demos, I'm just going to go through some things here is regarding observability. Now, we have monitoring at different levels within OIC. Monitoring, for example, in OIC itself, but then we've got OCI dashboards, we've got OCI logging, we've got OCI logging analytics. Now, this is not an exhaustive list, but I just wanted to go through some of the tools that are available to you today and some of the features that maybe you don't know about. So within monitoring, okay, I mentioned here that we now have a B2B dashboard within OIC. So if you're doing any B2B work, you will see this dashboard available to you. You'll be able to get information like who are my top trading partners, and you know, how are those documents being processed, errors, etc., etc. Much akin to what we have here. Another interesting thing here within OIC, you can order errors by integration. So then you see which integrations are causing the most errors. Now, this is also a very, very useful feature. It's hidden, so to speak. There's a little menu over here where you can order the errors, and one of them is order by integration, errors by integration. But you can see here, for example, this would be the guide that I would be looking at first because I've got 97 errors there. Another interesting feature that we see in observability under the integrations tab is, you know, the processing time analysis here. So we're seeing, you know, min, max, average, standard deviations, and all of this. So all of this information is available to you today within OIC itself. So I just wanted to highlight that again. Now, another feature, this is coming in 2404, which is an excellent feature, is the ability within the activity stream to view the slowest activities. Now, we could get that information today, but it would, if you have a complex activity stream, it's quite a bit of work, and you have to kind of, you know, screw your eyes to find exactly, you know, where's this information. But now you can just click on something like this and you will see, okay, look, there's a total duration time. And look, 99.9.5% was spent on this particular activity. So this will make it very easy for you to identify those bottlenecks. So if one of your integration flows is taking longer than expected, you can immediately within OIC monitoring see, okay, which activities are causing this slowness or whatever. Okay. Now, monitoring OIC in OCI. So what I'm just saying here, within OCI, if you go to the integration instances, and for each OIC instance, you see all of the service metrics. Now, for many folks, many OIC developers, maybe they don't know about this, or they don't have permissions for this, but it's very, very useful to be able to see these metrics. So it's at the instance level here. You can see these service metrics. Now, I've just got the first two. I think there's about 8 of those widgets there. Another feature within OCI is the dashboards. Now, these are based on service metrics, and they're very rich dashboards, very simple to create. And here's an example where I have here is, okay, here's the technical messages going through OIC, and here's just an overview of the build messages. Now, maybe you don't know, but if you have a scheduled job that runs and does not, you know, invoke a service and get a payload back greater than 50 KB, that will not be charged. So there can be differences between here and what you actually see over here. But this is very, very useful to keep an eye on, okay, which integrations are costing me the most money? It mightn't be the ones over here. It could be a fact that, okay, some integrations, you know, read in a humongous file, and because of that processing of that humongous file, the bill is larger, you know. So this is very, very useful stuff. Very, very easy. Once you log into your OCI console, click on dashboard, you see all of this stuff there. Now, going to OCI logging. All you got to do is within your OCI screen for your integration instance is to enable logging. And then you will see enable logging. It gives these names. You can overwrite these names yourself, of course. And then within OCI logging, you can search based on this log group, for example. So it's very, very simple there to do that. And then you get all of the data here for these guys. Now, the data that you're getting here is a subset of what you get with what you see in the activity stream in OIC. Now, we are augmenting this going forward, putting in more information such as the tracking field, data, etc., etc. But just to let you know that this is what you will then see in OCI logging. Of course, nice thing with OCI logging as well is that you can do kind of wildcard searches. So if imagine you wanted to search for order number 5, and this order number 5 was logged here, you could very easily find that. Now, monitoring OIC via logging analytics. Now, logging analytics is the next level down, and we have many customers now who are uptaking this. And it's the activity stream subset that OCI logging has. This is sent via a service connector from logging to logging analytics. And then within logging analytics, we now have 3 out-of-the-box OIC dashboards available in OCI logging analytics. Key metrics, time, health overview, time taken analysis. Now you can take each of these ones, duplicate it, and then amend it to suit your particular needs, or just take them as is. And of course, you can create your own dashboards as well. But just to give you an example, here is one of those. So like this here is giving us fleet management. But once you click on the filter here, you have the ability to drill down to specific OIC instances. I've got 3 instances here, or to specific instances and integrations within those instances. So it's very, very good from the fleet overview down to an individual OIC integration and its flows. But you can see the rich possibilities that we have here on that. So without further ado, let's go in and have a look at some of these demos now. Just wanted to show you folks, this is an example. I'm going to use the Rapid Adapter Builder to create an adapter for AMQP, like RabbitMQ. Now, I've only got two APIs here, the put message and the get message. But the only reason I'm doing that is to simplify everything. Now, you could have as many APIs as you want here, and then all I got to do is export that collection. So when I export that collection, I then go into here, into Visual Code. And within Visual Code, I can go View, Command Palette, and I say Rab Initialize Workspace. So now the Rab extension has been installed via this guy here. Via this guy here. So it's very, very simple to do this. It goes to the Microsoft Marketplace. You install that guy there. If you will see here, this is the publisher profiles YAML is connect information to my OIC instance, which I have there as well. And you can see that the instance is active. And then I can go back up here to the files, and I get these different directories, or these different subfolders, so to speak. So if I go into this AMQP starter, which will be down here, work OIC Gen 3 or a Rapid Adapter Builder, we will see here we have the AMQP demo or starter here. And within this, we've got these things here. Now, miscellaneous will be the directory into which I copy the collection from Postman. So I've already downloaded this to save us some time. So I go in here and I drop it into the MISC, and I do Control V, and then I just go back here, and I'll just do here, and I just do a refresh of this guy. Says, and there it is there. Okay, so we have this file here. So all I got to do here now is I just go in here and I say here, convert the Postman collection to this adapter definition file. Okay, so I'm clicking on this guy now. And you can see here, it says, okay, you have 2 requests. You see, these are the APIs. You have put message, get message. I could select them all. I could only select a few of them. I'll select them all and I do done. And you will see here, it generates this for me here. You see, I'm going to save this as new because I don't want to use the name main. And there you see, we have this guy here. Now, if we look at this file here, there's a load of different things I can configure. Like if you remember the slide I showed, which I'm sure you don't, but in the Rapid Adapter Builder slide, I was saying, okay, the ADD can be configured. For example, for security settings, do I want basic auth? Do I want a drop-down list with basic auth and OAuth or whatever? This is all of the sort of stuff you will be putting in here. But let's just leave this guy as it is. And I just click on this guy here. I do right mouse click and I say validate. And I say save and proceed. And it says, look, it's valid. Now, it's very, very basic. This is kind of, very, very basic what we're doing here on this guy. And now we can actually publish this guy. So I do the publish. So this is publishing this to the OIC, instance. So let's go in here and let's look at which instance that would be. It should be this guy here. So let's go in and just refresh this. And let's see what we have here. Okay. So let's do create. And you will see here, this is one that I've created earlier, this guy. I should see the AMQP one here. Let me just check. Says he checking, just checking here. No, didn't put it in there. Let me just check on that now. Nope, let me just refresh that guy again. I just wanted to show you what the basic one looked like. No. Okay, so let's go into my one here, which is the one I've created here for RabbitMQ. Cunning is the Gaelic for rabbit. That's why I've got this guy in here. And let's have a look at that guy here. So let's go back here to this guy. And let's open another file. So, sorry, file, right there, file, open folder. Okay, so let's go to this folder, this one. Okay, so we're selecting this folder here. And in this guy, you will see that I've put in an awful lot more information. So let's have a quick look at the ADD file here. So for example, you will see I have things like at the very top here, Quinine MQ Greylock adapter. So this is the actual name. So this is the display name. You see that here? You can see there's other fields that we have here. We have different versions of it. So you could have different versions of the same adapter. You can see the publisher information, contact us. So imagine if you were a partner and you wanted to, market this adapter to folks, you could put your contact information and all in there now. So I'm just going to show you when I actually use this adapter. Let's go in here to create BBCOININ MQ. So you will see here, I have fields such as, connection type, REST API, Open API that I've specified. And this all is specified within our file here. So you can see there's quite a bit of information there just about from the collection, the Postman collection, about the two APIs that I'm calling. But you can see here, look, there I'm adding here REST API, base URI, Open API, and that's what we're actually seeing here as well. Okay. Now you can see here, to save me when I'm doing demos, what I actually do is I hard code the values in here. Now, of course, that's something you wouldn't be doing, but the ability is there because you can actually put in a default value. So like if you're just doing this to demo to somebody, it's useful to have this default. Otherwise, you, of course, in a production environment, you wouldn't be doing this at all. So we just go in here and we see that there. We can go ahead and just say test this guy. Oh, sorry, I've got to do the REST API base URL. I do save and I do test. And we can see that this guy is tested successfully. Yep. So I'll just go and show you another example here where I've already save, where I've already used this adapter. Let's go up here to integrations, and we have something here called AA Cunning MQ. So I'll just deactivate this for a second. I do this, and here I am in here, and you will see here I can as well the wizard that's actually used when you want to invoke RabbitMQ, for example. So I'll just show you this here. This is the wizard. So this is also configurable via the ADD file. So you can see here, first of all, I'm seeing the two actions that are available, get and put message. And then you will see here this account and queue. Now, again, I've hard coded the values there just to save me time. But this is also stuff that I can put into this file here. So I can actually say here, there's the account, for example. So I'm doing the configuration of this part of the adapter. So we've got the connection definition part. We've defined that here. We've also got the edit of the configuration when we're actually using this in an integration. So you can see there's going to be a type as a text box. The display name is the account, and then we've got the queue underneath there as well. So I just wanted to show that to you, and I think that is something that is really a game changer for us, because I know so many customers, do you have an adapter for this app? Do you have an adapter for that app? And there are such a plethora of new SaaS or web apps out there, many of them, or the most of them with REST APIs that you can immediately leverage using this rapid adapter builder. And as I say, it's all purely declarative work that you have to do here. And there are many blog posts from Madhav and from myself that describe exactly how you actually create this. Now you can see as well, you can add a logo. I added a logo of the rabbit for that there. You can also see here, when I click here, I can check and I can see which adapters are found. So I see that guy has already been deployed. So what I can actually go in here is, I could actually, if I wanted to, I could delete that, for example. So it's very, very easy to push the adapter to an OIC instance and also to delete that when you're doing your testing or whatever. So that is the Rapid Adapter Builder. Now we still have some time. So what I just wanted to show you now is a quick overview. Now this is something, of course, we will be going into an awful lot more depth over the next couple of calls. I'm sure maybe the June call we'll be doing more on this, but we will be looking at RPA here. So I go back up here, and I just wanted to show you this very, very simple example that we have here. Again, this is the looking up the zip code. Now, just think about, when would I use RPA within OIC? Now, naturally enough, it's good if there's no APIs available from the app, or if those APIs are not being made available to me as an integration developer. That's also a possibility there. Or if the work that I want to do is simple to do on the user interface, but very complex to do via, an orchestration of multiple API calls. So that's just some of the ideas that maybe could drive one to do to use this. Now, so I'm going to go in. I've got this customer robot in. I'll just give you an idea of how this actually works. So, of course, there's going to be what we call here is kind of screen scraping, so to speak. But here is the fact that this robot is going to be called from OIC. So this robot is going to have input and output fields. So in this case, I'm going to be sending the street address across, and I'm going to be also sending the 5-character zip code. So I'll do zip 5. I don't know why the Americans call it zip, but I suppose that's just the way of the world. So zip. We call this zip 9. This is what we're getting back. So I think for everybody, this is very simple. This robot is going to be called from an OIC integration. The OIC integration has the street address and zip 5, but what the OIC integration wants is the zip 9, because that's what we've to send on to Fusion ERP. Very, very simple there. Now you can see when I click on this guy here, this guy becomes active, and now I can start recording. Now you can see I've got the zip code app up here, because that's what I need to record. So you can say which browser tab, I do zip code, look up here, and you can see it starts up here, RPA Smart Recording, and then we go in here and we actually begin the recording. So very, very simple to work this. You know, you wait until it turns green, you click on it, and you can see click find by address. Now, this is what's going to be, this is the name of the step in the orchestration, in the robotic orchestration. Now, I leave it as is, but you say, you know, we could change that. And you can see here, okay, click and then execute action on save. So yeah, let's click find by address. So I've clicked this guy here. And now we're going to enter in the street address. So I click on this guy here. And I go in and I say enter street address, STREET, and I say I'm going to give a test value 600 Article Parkway. And I say the runtime value, however, is going to come from the street address that we just entered. Now, this stuff is so simple, and it's just, you know, it's so nice to use. It's really is very, very, and here we go, enter zip code, enter zip 5, for example. And I say the test data, we say 94065, and the runtime value we say is been taken in from this guy here. And I say save. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually click on the find here. So that's green, click on find, click find, and we say, yeah, okay, good. Now this guy returns the 9 character here. So you see this? So I click on this guy and I say, okay, I don't want to click on it. What I want to do is get that value. I want to get that text. So I want to get zip 9. And what I want to do is I want to save that to the output zip 9. And I do save. Now, so for all intents and purposes, I'm done with this guy here. So I can go back in here and you can see, okay, these are all of the steps that I did. There they all are there waiting for me. Okay. Open the browser, and we can, of course, add just stop the recording. And now we can add a step after this, for example, log the 9 character zip. So we say log zip 9, and this will show then in the activity stream from the integration. And we say it's the output field and it's zip 9. And we do okay. Now this is so simple, it's great, you know. So now we have this here. I can actually click here to go out of this. And now we come to the runtime aspect of it. So I've got a robot actually here installed. So this is the robot that will be doing the actual work. And as you see, it's requesting messages from the control room, which is OIC, so to speak. Okay. So this guy has to be associated with a robot, say with an environment pool, which contains one or more robot agents, so to speak. So I can say add environment pool. I've only got one pool here. I've got 2 pools. So I'll take the sales environment and I have that guy there. And this changed to configured. Now it changed to activate. And we can just go on that one there. And I have one here that's already activated. So I can go here and I just do run on that guy there. Let's do this guy, run. Did I click run? And as you say, this, so we can test the robot independent of the integration. So we put in zip address here. We do 600 Article Parkway, PRKWAY, BUP, and we put in the zip 5 94065. That's another property which I don't really need. I just leave that, and I just click on this guy here, the instance there, and we see C01, and of course this guy will start working on that very shortly. So that's very, very simply how these things will work, and I think it's a great addition to the OIC toolkit. And I'm sure many folks, many of you will find your use cases for this, because as I say, when you think about it, you'll always find something that can be used for this. There you see, there's the instance C01, and it's now doing the work. Okay, so that's that part. What I also wanted to show, let's go back here, is just how do we actually use that within the context of the integration. And there I went into the wrong project. I go into my project. I'm just conscious of the time as well. So within the project here, let's go in and let's do edit. And you will see here, what do I have? I have here, okay, get zip 9. So you can see over here, I've got a new action, robot flow. I drag and drop that across, and then I get the mapping for this. And then, of course, you can see here in the map to update customer. So this is going to update the customer in Fusion. That map has been augmented to actually use, or the map has been changed, I should say, to use the response from the robot. So if I click down on this guy here, and we look down here to postal code, and we look over here, and there's the RPA response. Okay. So again, being very conscious of the time here, that's just a teaser of what we're doing in this area. I hope that, you find these things compelling. Like I say, the rapid adapter builder is something that you can use today. Just going back to that. That is something you can use today. RPA will be released over the next couple of OIC releases.
Yeah, so I'm presenting the screen regarding Rapid Adapter Builder for all partners who are interested to build an adapter. Please join us for the next community webcast next Tuesday, March 26th. So Madhav and Praveen will give us more details on that topic. And there's also a Rapid Adapter Partner Kit available where you get all that information. So make sure you attend the webcast and get access to the kit where you find all the details how to get started. To wrap up the call before we come to the questions and answers, you can find all links at bit.ly/linksoic. Make use of the Oracle integration website. If you create a free trial, please use the live labs, part of the documentation. And there are plenty of blogs out there from the integration team, from Niall and myself, from Kishore, and from most of the team members. You find a blog. And subscribe to our quarterly newsletter, which keeps you updated with the latest information and upcoming events. With that, I would like to highlight some questions for the benefit of everybody from the Q&A. If you have questions, you can still post them in the Q&A tool, or you can raise your hand and we can unmute you and you can ask the question live. So Niall, thanks for the wonderful demo. Everybody likes it on RPA, also on the zip code demo. The question, first of all, is how long is OIC 2 available, and will it be mandatory to upgrade to OIC 3?
Yes, it will be mandatory. Like, it is mandatory, yes. We are looking within 2024 to get our customers onto OIC 3. Now, there are many compelling reasons to get onto OIC 3, but of course it has to fit in with your project plans. So if somebody sees that they get an email from us saying we're going to upgrade you in the next month or so, and you're going live on Gen 2 in the next month or so, then you can raise an SR to get that postponed. So like, there are so many compelling reasons to get to OIC 3, and we hope that customers are happy and ready to embrace OIC 3, but we do of course take into account your project planning and so on with this upgrade. And the upgrade is 95% Oracle, 5% customer input, so it really is something that is almost fully automated for you.
Excellent. Okay. Another upgrade question for Ravi Pinto. Ravi, if you run today a process in SOA Suite with people, what is your future plan and how can you come to the cloud running SOA Suite on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure? What are the future versions? Maybe you can elaborate this question.
So, Jürgen, am I right in understanding that this is a SOA Suite question and not an OIC question?
Yes, correct. What's the upgrade path for people and SOA Suite?
Yeah, so SOA is available on OCI as a marketplace image. If you've not tested it out, it's 12.2.1.4 that's available today. That's the same release that we have for on-prem available. And right now we're working on 14.1.2, so that gives me a good segue. Thank you, Jürgen, for asking that question. We will have SOA and in general FMW 14.1.2 available later in this calendar year. And if you are interested in doing beta testing of any one of the FMW components like WebLogic, SOA Suite, BPM Suite, or JDeveloper, etc., you can register for beta program. So you just need to go to the Oracle beta program page and look for Fusion Middleware Umbrella Beta Program and enroll yourself. We are starting either tomorrow or early next week. New binaries will be available and you can start doing the testing. So yes, SOA is available on OCI today, and we do have plans of making 14.1.2 available on OCI as well.
Excellent.
Back to you, Jürgen.
And there is an adapter for Oracle integration to connect the SOA suite, so you can run it in a hybrid fashion.
Yes, yes.
Excellent. Matthew, are you still here?
Yes, Jürgen.
There's a question on Rapid Adapter Builder. Does Postman collection need all API operations, GRT, Postman, and Patch, or what do you recommend?
Not really required. The customers can pick and choose their operations, and even there in the operation they can pick and choose their verbs according to their requirement.
Okay. And what's your experience? How long does it take to build a simple Rapid Adapter, and how long to get familiar with it?
It'll in order to get familiar, it will not take more than a day or two, and in order to build the adapter, a basic adapter, the one which Niall has built it will not take more than an hour or so.
Excellent. So it's really a great opportunity for partners if you do an integration multiple times to build an adapter.
It will be great if the partners can attend the next upcoming partner webcast, and we will be deep diving all the components of Rapid Adapter Builder, how to get it, registered in the integration store, and what's the benefit of benefit the partners, customers, and ISVs gets with the Rapid Adapter Builder. Lot of good stuff that we are going to show there.
Excellent, and it's available today.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Cool. Niall, question on RPA. Is it available today, or how to participate in an early adapter program? Niall, you're on mute.
Yeah, I can answer that.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in limited availability or in the beta testing, then do drop us an email. You could send an email to Niall or to me, ravi.pinter@oracle.com, with the use case, and we will take that to the team that's working on RPA and share with them. And if the use case is compelling, then yes, we are. We would have customer work with us on the limited availability instance.
Excellent. And there's a follow-up question on RPA. Can RPA robot in a flow support multi-thread instances and support a huge payload?
So these are still early days for RPA. We're still doing all sorts of testing, etc. And I can't, definitively say that, but these will be some of the things that we'll test in coming days.
Okay. So thank you very much. Thank you for the whole team for answering the questions. Thanks for attending today's webcast and the beautiful live demos from Niall. If you do have questions, you can find a lot of resources at our resource page, including the website, documentation, blogs, newsletter, Cloud Customer Connect, and Partner Finder. You can also reach out to the team in EMEA. Neil Commiskey is your contact person. In South America, Paolo Monta. In the US, Ravi Chaplani. Ravi Pinto for India, Steve Tyndall for Asia, and myself for partner and marketing questions. We would like to say thank you for attending today's webcast. Once you leave, please complete the online survey, and we are looking forward to welcome you on June 20th for the next product update webcast. Thank you very much for attending.